All right, Virginia state regulators say they are moving forward with a controversial high-voltage transmission line that's been proposed to run right through a neighborhood and along a school property despite an outpouring of opposition.
Now the fight could be heading to the Supreme Court of Virginia. Our Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder is joining us now. He's been following this story for more than a year and joins us with an update. Drew, last week you were talking about a project that could bring a power pole taller than the Statue of Liberty to a woman's backyard. Is that still in play?
Jim, that is very much in play right now. And within the last hour, it actually took another giant step toward becoming reality. Earlier today, Loudoun County's Board of Supervisors, the school board, the Loudoun Valley Estates HOA, and even Dominion Energy all joined together in a motion, asking state regulators to hit pause on this highly controversial and highly impactful project. State regulators said no, they won't hit pause. The need to stabilize the electrical grid is too urgent, the regulators say. The next option for Loudoun County Public Schools and the neighborhood is likely the state Supreme Court. Here's what's at stake. This is Vicki Hugh. She lives in the Loudoun Valley Estates neighborhood in Ashburn. You know, that's right in the heart of Data Center Alley. Dominion Energy says it needs to connect some substations to keep the lights on in Loudoun. Dominion says this isn't a data center project, but in the same breath, Dominion acknowledges that the data center industry is straining the power grid because of how much power it sucks up. So to build a new transmission line, Dominion needs approval from a state regulator called the State Corporation Commission, or the SCC. This is a little bit easier to digest by looking at a map, so let's do that right now. Remember, there is a school in play here. There's also the neighborhood contesting these high voltage transmission lines. And there are effectively two route options for this line that state regulators put forward. The option they initially wanted ran here along school property. This is a high school. This is an elementary school. So you can see how close that line would go to schools. That would require school board approval. So the state regulator said, okay, if the school board doesn't give us approval, then we'll go on this route, which would go right through Vicki Hugh's neighborhood and her neighbors. But here's where the neighbors got really clever. You see this patch of land that's colored yellow? This was the property of the neighborhood. It runs adjacent to the school property. So the neighborhood said, well, what if we donate this patch of land to the school board? They did that. The school board graciously accepted that donation. So that disrupted this line that the state felt it didn't need school board approval for. The hope was that this would block that path, but it doesn't appear that's the case. Even though the school board didn't sign off on either route, they asked state regulators to hit pause so they could reconsider this, maybe come up with a new plan. But the regulators, as I told you, say that they are not slowing down, saying in their motion, quote, continued delay in this matter unreasonably jeopardizes the provision of reliable electric service within the Commonwealth. Basically saying they need to do this high voltage transmission line so bad that whether or not it runs through a neighborhood, they have to do it to keep our lights on. I assume most of you watching this don't live in this neighborhood. You probably don't have kids that go to this school either. But the president of the Loudoun Valley HOA says this should be a concern for every community because of what precedent this might set if it moves forward despite this resounding opposition.
So you're only looking at these little sections in isolation. You don't know what's next. And I think that's a big part of the fear is like, what is next?
Just last week, State Delegate J.J. Singh told me he's been getting calls from legislators in other states asking what Virginia, what Loudoun County are doing to try to mitigate data center sprawl and this growing thirst for even more electricity. Delegate Singh called Virginia the canary in the coal mine. And well, the canary's chirping so loudly that other states can hear it. Now the question is, will regulators, possibly the state Supreme Court, hear that and listen? We'll be watching this progress. It's possible that this could be appealed to the state Supreme Court as early as tomorrow. Jim, Sean.
We know you will be following this and we will be watching. Drew, thank you.